could go either way, or it could be kind of both.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it depends on where you are on the planet. There's some people right now where they're living in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Every day they're like, it's been the apocalypse.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? When's my damn utopia? You guys are literally sitting in the Garden of Eden right now.
Yeah. Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back at it again. Today we're going to look at Shunyamurti and Kali Yuga, which is an age or a specific time within the belief system of Shunyamurti. So he's going to talk a bit about it, and you can see whether or not it resonates with the day and age that we're living in right now for you.
Until we now have reached this point at the end of Kali Yuga, where we have such a dumbed down population that people cannot even recognize what is going on. There's a mass die-off, there's genocide happening, there are incredible things, but most people are in denial of them because they can't handle the truth.
You think that's the case right now? That people are having a hard time resonating what's going on with the world right now? They can't even comprehend? They're so disassociated.
Well, I think that there is a whole lot going on with technological advancements, social change. All this stuff I think can be a little overwhelming. But things have been rapidly changing in my opinion since probably the 40s. Probably before that with Industrial Revolution and then both world wars and then the friggin' 60s. And then the 70s were different than the 60s.
Yeah.
The 80s, Reagan era, all the way up to now, it's like we haven't got a break from things being new and changing rapidly. But since the dawn of the internet in our lifetime, I get the sense that there's been advancements at an unprecedented speed.
Yeah. And so it's understandable why people may have lost touch, feeling like having any type of grounding inside of this reality.
There could have been generations of people that were very traditional and whatever, and now everybody's shouting their opinion into the void, and different people have platforms and they're saying things that might be destabilizing, bringing light to a situation where you thought you had it hook, line, and sinker, and now there's this new information.
Yeah, think about it. When we were kids, you were never exposed to even a guy like Shunyamurti. That wouldn't have been on television.
No, all the way to my early 20s, it was in the periphery as just something that I didn't know much about. And then once you get the ability to very quickly with on your phone do all these deep dives and go into rabbit holes.
It's no end.
You see, that's the main thing of the ego. It prefers ignorance to knowledge. And so we're at a time when very few people are willing to know everything that we need to know in order to change the situation for the better. So we're at the end of that period where almost all, even egos, let alone souls, are exhausted.
Right.
That sounds so true. People are exhausted in this day and age. I don't know if you get that feeling with what you're going on, but I feel like people are just so tired. They're just trying to survive, get through their days. They don't have any time for anything now because they're worked to the bone so hard that it feels like they just seem mentally, spiritually, physically exhausted.
Oh yeah, at not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, I remember leading up to it, it just seemed like there was so much going on in the news. We were in pretty dramatic, COVID serious or whatever, COVID times.
Yeah.
Serious in the sense that everybody had these different polarized opinions about what was going on. And I remember Christmas was approaching with family and everybody getting real tight and around each other. And I was praying to God, just give us a break. Let this not be a dramatic holiday season. That's where I was at that point, and if you had asked me then, do you think that people are spiritually exhausted? I would have been yes. I would have been yeah, things seem okay for now. I mean, but at the same time, we've got spy balloons.
Yeah,
and
wars. We got wars going on. We got so much going on, man. People are drained. They're like,
yeah.
they're constantly living in a state of like fear and worry. I don't know. Seems to make some sense.
They have no more creativity, which is why you see there's a death of culture. There's very little music, drama, any of the arts. They have all fallen. Even the cinema, the last art, is now mostly very trashy kind of material.
I don't know. If I was going to disagree with anything that he said, I feel like I kind of disagree with him on that. Because I think the arts are about to like explode again. I think we're on the cusp of something magical.
Well, for somebody who's pretty into art,
Yeah.
like my own tastes wise, there's always been, you know, the problem with art is always going to be like commercialization versus like legitimate expression, you know. And there are artists, man. If you look around, there are some people doing unique,
wild
cool
things.
stuff for the love of the game, you know, like doing it because they want to create something unique. That's out there. Is it right in your face? Like, is it the thing that the algorithm's pushing to the front of your attention?
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily.
Yeah.
Or news people, but if you look for it, it's there. And yeah, it's always in flux too, with new technology and ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he means like the quality of it is just lacking right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's onto something, you know. Material, and there's a loss of all moral values, all of the traditional ways that society was able to sustain itself with divine masculine and feminine energies that are all lost now in transgenderism and all of that. And so people are so confused, and they have no more values, and they feel so cynical. And so depressed and so nihilistic that they are actually captured by what we call the lower death drive, which is a drive in the ego that wants to die. When it can't handle life and sustain its happiness, which it no longer can, even with drugs or whatever else they want. They want to get out. And so there's a massive epidemic of suicide in the world today.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's true though, right? Whether they're just killing themselves or like drugging themselves to death with like opiates and stuff like that. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case nowadays. Where like there's even like young people like on a level that's never been seen before. They've lost touch so much with reality and the miracle that's going on around them that they're, you know, it's a sad state. To me, I see that as bang on.
I don't know if you're aware of that.
It's rising.
Yes, and violence and every other kind of perversion and of antisocial behavior, and the world is now run by psychopaths. Right. And they are creating ever more monstrous tyrannies, dictatorships, and bringing about global destruction, which we can see before our eyes.
Yes.
So that's what the end of Kali Yuga is.
Wow.
But the blessing is this. At the end, because it is so terrible, people are beginning to awaken, which they wouldn't otherwise. They would just go into their, you know, virtual realities and become happy slaves, you know, of the system. But they're not even able to do that. So there is a massive awakening, and you are part of that, and you are awakening others.
So I found this guy before you.
Oh yeah,
I shared him with you because I thought he was such an interesting guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's okay to take somebody that, you know, he's dressed like a guru. These people are listening to him on bended ear. Is it possible for somebody like you or I to look at this and poke holes in what he's saying or disagree with something he's saying? Are we meant to like listen to it and take it like, well, that's a challenge for me to think or believe, but I'm going to go with it because he's the master. Yeah. Is that how it's supposed to be? Or is it supposed to be that we're supposed to... Because there's a few things he said that I don't necessarily agree with.
Same here.
You know, there's some things... The picture he's painting is a pretty grim picture. Like, psychopaths are running the world. I'm like, if psychopaths are running the world, is it possible that it's only ever been, like, you know, Genghis Khan-level psychopaths running the world? Isn't that the position many psychopaths take? Yeah. Or is it that we've allowed that to... Like, Hitler... existed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's some things he's saying, but, you know, nevertheless, I find him fascinating. Even if I'm not like a devout disciple of this guy, I could listen to him. I've got him on my I've got his podcast on my phone.
Yeah. I kind of like, I see the corruption that he's talking about. He's talking also about awakening, people waking up to it. We've talked about it in other videos, where people are starting to notice the systematic failures within their societies, and they're starting to point them out and be like, we got to fix that because this is broken. And so there's a little bit of you know, contention there. There's and I think that's what he's pointing to. But let's let him finish. See what he's got to say here.
This is wonderful, and it's very good karma, and it will help your own vibrational frequency because you receive grace. That divine intelligence that is responsible for all of this is also more and more visible, more perceptible by those who turn to God or Brahman or the Buddha mind, however you want to refer to that ultimate reality. It's more accessible now, and so people are able to rise in a very short time to the state of Jivan Mukti, or liberation in life, and be able to return the world to that vibrational frequency. So this is the moment in which everything is polarized. The darkest of the dark, but also the brightest light is now available to those who want it. And so it's a beautiful, auspicious moment. So they call the end of Kali Yuga a fifth yuga. It's a secret yuga that is referred to by the Kumbh Melas, you know, the great gatherings of the yogis. This is the Kumbh Mela at the end of time, when all of those who had been yogis or avatars in past lives and lost that return to that awakening and their own illumination again, and return to God consciousness.
Well, it seems like he left us with a little bit of optimism at the end, right? So, I don't know. Do you feel like things are turning for the better?
I already answered that. No. No, I don't think I even did. Are things turning for the better? I get the sense that everything is always like about to be a road split one way or the other. We're always facing a split in the road with all our decisions and everything we do, and the future depends on how we behave now.
Yeah.
In a lot of there's also unforeseen things that could happen that are out of our control.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. Are we headed towards the apocalypse, or are we headed towards, you know, utopia on Earth?
Yeah.
Could go either way, or it could be kind of both.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it depends on where you are on the planet. There's some people right now where they're living in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Every day they're like, it's been the apocalypse.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? When's my damn utopia? You guys are literally sitting in the Garden of Eden right now.
Yeah.
Talking about that. I thought it was funny how they did that close-up of his hands. Like, get that shot of his hands. Which I feel bad because I think I interrupted the video. But
well, hey. What do you guys think about this time, the age of Kali Yuga? Do you think things are on a turn for the better, a turn for the worse? What did you resonate with there? Do you think he was right on all his points, or was there something there that you disagreed with? Let us know in the comments. We hope you guys liked this episode. Thanks for joining us. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend, and everybody, until next time, stay spiritual.